Good morning and welcome back to another segment of Pages of K. So we're going to do a reading update. So I'm currently reading 3 books, Blood Over Brighthaven, A Fable to End the World, um, and Glass Sword by Miss Victoria A. I'm not going to mess up her name. I will learn how to pronounce it though. But I'm not going to butcher it right now. So I spend a lot of time on TikTok. In reader spaces, commenting, connecting with people, and connecting with readers. So, I'm listening to Blood Over Brighthaven. Audiobooks don't hold me, right? I can't. My brain is too busy and it's too much going on, and I can't focus. But yesterday, I was locked in with that book. Like, it had me and gripped me, and like, that was that. So, a creator on there, Sid Reads Everything. I paused the video in the middle, but she said that Blood Over Brighthaven was peak white feminism, right? And I'm only on chapter 9, I believe, but as I was reading the book or listening to the book, that is immediately what popped up, because early on her cousin calls out her behavior and tells her, you're not doing this for women, you're not doing this for the progression of women, you're doing this for yourself. Right? You don't even know who's in your community. You don't know such and such name. You don't know this. You don't know that. You're just doing this to kind of martyr yourself and make yourself a pillar for something, right? You're not doing it genuinely for the progression of women, right? You're doing this for yourself, right? Okay, so follow my brain thoughts. Okay, so hear me out. I feel like it's a direct reflection of society now. How white people will try to ally, how they would try to ally themselves with black people, but not necessarily to help black people, not necessarily to, uplift black people. They're doing it because they want a pat on the back. They're doing it because they want the recognition and the accolades without actually doing the work. And I just did a TikTok video on this where I said it's a direct reflection of the Allie Hazelwood situation. Remember where all the people was going crazy and she ended up deleting her Instagram because she said PETA was useless, but the whole extent of the clip wasn't there, and she was like, PETA is useless in the wild, but people took PETA as useless and just bombarded that lady. Now, I know that she posts about black indie authors. I know that she supports a lot of black indie authors in her space, and she does the work necessary. She does it all without wanting a pat on the back. She's known for this. She partners with a lot of, black authors, helping them elevate in the publishing industry and all of these things, right? So, one thing that other creators pointed out was the resounding theme of how they tried to martyr her for the work she was doing instead of continuing the work, right? Instead of, because she used her platform to uplift marginalized authors, right? So instead of going to follow, connect, whatever it is with those marginalized authors, they instead martyred her, right? Instead of continuing the work that she started. And that is, I'm not even in the thick of Blood of Bright. I don't even think I got to the meat and the bones of it. But that is literally what this book is. Like, I didn't like Homegirl from the back. I didn't like her from the front because she does come across very selfish, very much she's about hers and that's it. And like, I feel like with her cousin calling her out and kind of trying to bring her back down to earth, that's crazy. But it also brings back to the conversation white women too. Like the feminist movement it was never for the progression of black women anyway. It was always for the progression of white women. It was never to help all women. It was for white women. Like, we learned this in history, we learned this in school. Well, I did because I was nosy and I liked history, and I didn't, and I like doing my own research, you know, so it is what it is. But if you go back and look at the feminist movement, you will hear and read some of the early feminists, what they talked about with their movements. It never was for all, right? It was for them, and that's it, right? And I don't know, I read to escape reality, but Blood Over Brighthaven has grounded me back in reality, because it's like a stark contrast of the world now and where we're sitting at now, right? So it's a heavy ass book, if I'm being honest, because like it's literally forcing you. It's so many parallels to now, that even in the book where she's trying to become the first high mage in a world full of men, let's talk about the now DEI hires. Who is a DEI hire? I'll let you marinate on that. And it's crazy. I seen so many people hyping this book up, but I didn't know I was gonna be right back over here, grounded back in reality. But yeah, all right, I'll let y'all know what I think when I finish it.